Welcome members to another weekly update. Please check the overall market big picture first in a separate video, because here's where we look at individual stock picks. Let's check in with gold, because I mentioned last week that the miners could be leading the way for the metals comeback, and particularly though if you look at the junior miners, which is GDXJ, that could be could be an even bigger leading indicator. And here's what the story is with that. We had this drop, and it's been making a valiant effort to come back here, and it's at a real inflection point now, because this big bounce back to the 40-week moving average is either one of two things. Either this is just the customary pullback before it drops further, and if it actually got a head and shoulders break there, it's up and then down, and the classic pullback before it heads south again. Or it could get back above its 40-week and break the pattern and get back on its feet again. So if you're watching gold or gold miners, this I think is our canary in the coal mine. So that's just generally overall market. Please see the other video about that. Not getting in the way of a speeding train. Let's check in on some individual stocks now, as well as look at a new one I've got. Let's look at FXE. Yeah, so FXE is made a bit of a pullback here. Let's see what happens. It's kind of right on the sort of tight stop loss I had, which was just above the 50 days, so not out of it yet, but let's see what happens in the week. Seadrill was kind of testing patience a little bit this week, but it just held on there at sort of the support level around there, and as long as this stock is above its the 200-day, I'm happy and I'm in, and still in profit. Let's look at FXY. Still hanging on to that one. It's done this little pull-up thing here. I've shorted it around there, as you know, and I had a stop loss in it around there. Kind of touched it. I just left it in, but you could have got out, taken a nice profit, whatever. What happens next? It's either going to keep on going down, or it edges up a little bit further, and I'll take profits on that one if it goes any higher. As the level I'd set there for jumping out at around 84. Let's look at Credit Suisse. I think had a decent week. Financials, I want to be in the financial space because they're kind of seem to be in lockstep with the overall market, and that one's doing great. I mean, as long as this is over the 200-day, I'm in. I'm happy, because I was in it around around 13, as it's just a slow chugging away upwards. That's in profit. CF, I think particularly, has been doing very well, and I'm really starting to like this aggressive upwards trajectory. I was in it, as you know, around 28, just above the 200-day line. Big profits on that one so far. And obviously, you see, when it's a smaller price stock, I'm going to bet more per point, otherwise the profits will be silly. And that's one of the things I've given you as an Ed spread bet calculator, so that you can balance things out, so you always have the equal amount of risk per trade. But that's a real star performer right now. Let's also look at Amazon. And that's just been great. We called it off this bounce right here. Up and down it goes, as per normal with this kind of thing, and it's just shooting higher. Big profit riding on that one. I'm going to set a stop loss at 7.98 there, or lock in the profits rather. And let's see what else we got. We've got TTPH. I got back in on this one after it bumped me out for a small loss, and I'm fine as long as it keeps trying to throw me off. I'm just trying to ride this pony upwards. So there it was, back above the tight entry, above the 200-day, threw me out, and then it get back in. And that one's pushing higher. Another one I did last week, which was Staples. Same story. Back if it's above the 200-day, I'm in, this was the entry point. It's done a little pullback there, and it's riding up rather nicely actually, and it's 50 days. So that's looking good. New one is Genworth financial space again. Let me just show you real quick. Here's the Dow Jones, and let's look at the daily. SPX There's the S&P 500. Look at that pattern there. And now look at the financials, XLF. You see pretty much the same. There's the financial sector. There's the Dow Jones. It's even more explicit on that one. Dow Jones, financials. These are moving in lockstep. So if the market's going up and the financials seem to be the space, I want to be in financials. So Genworth Financial, why do I like it? I like it starting at the weekly chart because look how it respects its 40 week. Gets below it, stays below it, steps down, over bounces, pull back, keeps going down. Finally, the moving average is leveling off and actually starting to rise. So it's got a rising moving average. We've got a kind of sort of pull back here. And if you go to the daily, you really see how tight the action is. There's that 40 week, and this chart, it's obviously the 200 day. And just look at that. It's just skimming off of it and just starting to bounce there. Whatever happens next, I don't know. But the point is that look, I can put such a tight entry here. And I'm going to go by the weekly chart because that's really this type of trade I'm looking at. And it's just a weekly close below the 40 week. That's what will get me out. And I'm in at this level right here. That's about as tight as it gets. So that's all for this week. I'll speak to you next time.